Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good
How are we
morning.
today?
It's
Good.
Monday.
Good
It's
morning.
Monday. That's right. Did everybody have a good weekend? Productive weekend?
Yes.
Yes.
Nice. It was quiet on the group chat, so I was curious to see if everybody was just busy.
I was, that's for sure.
That's awesome. But we're just gonna wait a few minutes. I'll start like around 9:03, 9:04. Let everybody get on. If you guys are situated in your offices, throw your cameras on once
Good
we get started.
morning.
Yeah.
All righty, we got a lot of people on already, so I'm just going to get started here. So Sharon, you're at the top of my screen. How was your week last week?
My week last week was okay. It could be let me put my camera on. Can you guys see me?
Not yet, but we can hear you fine. There we go. We
Oh,
got
okay.
you.
Yeah, I have on my ball cap, so
That's all right.
yeah, it could have been better. So couple of things with that I'm doing to make it even better is one, I am doing a campaign. My community is what I would consider a high turnover
Okay.
community. So I am planning on, well, I am in the process of doing a campaign because there are 3 homes in my community that are already listed for sale. They are moving slow because we have 2 new developers, 2 new communities coming up. But I do know of a neighbor that is planning on listing her house later this year. So I'm trying to get business within my community. The second thing is I'm working on my sphere of influence. So I am building out and networking, and I have 3 good leads. 2 definitely are looking to purchase in this area within the next 6 to 8 months by the end of the year. They're
Okay.
currently leasing and they want to move out. And then I have one that is interested in Jacksonville, Florida. So I know we have a team in Jacksonville, right?
We do. It's a group of part-time agents, so it's really hit or miss.
Okay.
So what we can do is we can partner with the brokerage and find you a good contact there. That's a
Okay.
full-time agent.
Okay.
So I will contact Marietta at the office and find out.
Yeah. So, and then the third thing is I am taking Matt's advice and looking at my top 10 I feel like are really close. I have
Hmm.
written like 4 contracts in the last 8 weeks, and for various reasons, none of them, for offers, I should say, and none of them went to contracts. So I am, hitting them hard, harder to see how we can, get other options or alternatives. So those are the
Okay.
3 things that I'm kind of focused on.
All right. So let's talk through that. So you're working on marketing campaign for
Yes.
your community. That's a good thing. That's a long-term project, right? So you want to make sure that we're not doing that thinking that we're going to get those immediate results right away. Not saying that it's not going to turn into anything. It's just you got to work through it and it takes a little while, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I love to hear you're talking to your sphere of influence.
Yep.
That's a great way to build your business, better splits, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
We need to get you some now business though, right? So we want to make
Yes.
sure you're getting, your Zillow stuff, you're working any kind of, leads in the bucket, those kind of things,
Mm-hmm.
actively getting, like, if you have a really good turnover type community,
Mm-hmm.
then some open houses in that immediate area would be good. So you can partner
Oh,
with
okay.
any other listings that are there. It doesn't matter if it's not in your brokerage or not.
Mm-hmm.
So I like the plan though, right? And so I like to see that you're thinking about, hey, what's the next steps? What's my pipeline? The three that you have that are in kind of process, right? That's a good, you're building your pipeline. So you want to have a good funnel. Like, all right, I've got 3 months, 6 months, 9 months,
Yeah.
right? So you want to just focus. This week would be, okay, who's the client that's got to move into the house into the next 30 days? That's going to be my focus, right? Then once you get that contract, then you're like, all right, who's my 3 months out? Then I'm gonna start focusing on them. So I love the plan of attack. So for you, it's just execution.
Yeah, and
I like to hear this.
I do have because I am going through, because I do have, like I said, a lot of leads that came in, and now I'm trying to focus and, like I said, stratify them to say, okay, like you said, 1 to 2 months and go from there. Is there a way to do that in Follow Up Boss? Like I'm so used to like exporting to Excel and doing is there a way to put your own tags within Follow Up Boss to sort?
Yeah. So number one, to stay focused and organized, I would use the task and the top left if you're on the desktop version, where, like, let's say you're working a lead, right? I'm working with a lead. That person's name is Jeff. And I make that appointment, or I make a call, I make a note. Hey, I got to follow up next Tuesday at 10 o'clock. Boom. I put
Okay.
that as my task, my follow up. Now, what you're talking about is your tags. That's a little bit different, right? So just think of a long list, and as you're starting to separate people, you have your tags. You
Okay.
can do that,
Got
right?
it.
So you can build your own tags in there. Hey, 90-day lead, 30-day lead. Make it
Okay.
whatever you want. It could be ABC, 30, 60, 90. Make it as simple as possible. That way, you're just targeting your ABC players, your 30, 60, 90. I group my days by theme, right? So today is my VIP days. Anybody that's referred me a client, any of my like
Okay.
really important people, I follow up with them today. Tomorrow is my status update. So I give any of my sellers, any of my buyers updates. Hey, we're pushing the closing. Hey, you had 3 showings last week, et cetera, et cetera. Wednesday is my hot lead follow up. So I follow up with all my leads that day. Anybody that's has a pulse really that's looking at
Okay.
buying, I'm calling them that day. If I
Okay.
have time, then I'll hit some of my cold dead stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Thursdays are my past clients days. So as you build your clients database, you want to make sure you're touching those, right? So you want to have some time blocked days or times for that day, or for that group of clients, and that would be a
Okay.
tag, right? So you could tag
Okay.
them.
Okay. So I can use tags to do that.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
Okay. Good.
Very cool. So for you, it's just execution. Just keep doing what you're doing. I love it.
Yep. All right. Thank you. Well,
All right, you
good
go.
luck for me.
Yeah, you're fine. You'll be fine. Target an open house. Get some open houses booked. It's early in the week. You could start planning for it, marketing for it. Just reach out to those in your neighborhood that have those, and you should be just fine.
Okay. Thank you.
You bet. All right. Let's see, Laura. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing good. Yes, I'm looking at this one.
Yeah, we got you.
Okay.
Welcome back.
Thank you so much. It was like a crazy situation, but everything went well, so I'm good.
Good.
My weekend was very good since I arrived. I got my Zillow calls, but when I got like 2 or 3 Zillow calls, but that were at the beginning of April. So I was in Colombia, so I couldn't really take them. And after that, it went like dead, which is fine. But then I had a couple ones that Dana kindly sent me through Follow Up Boss. And from them, I'm working with 3 clients. One of my clients, I showed 3 houses on Saturday.
Mhm.
The first one was amazing. The second one, I don't understand how realtors can present houses like this because the pictures and everything were fine on the MLS, but as soon as we arrived to the house, it was trashy. It was poo. It was awful. So we opened the door and they were like, nope. So we went to the third one. They're still thinking about it. It's a BA, so I believe that I'm going to be showing more homes for them. It's a nice couple. And I do have another client. I booked like 6 to 8 houses for next week because they are flying from Michigan. This is my own client. And these houses are going to be in Lakeland. So I'm going to be going to Lakeland next week. And I do have another nice couple that they are really want to start looking, but I send information to get them pre-qualified or at least with a soft credit.
Okay.
And my goal, to be honest with you, I work part-time, but I work from home. So I have been trying to struggling to see how I can like create more business because I'm always by myself in the house. So I try to like be like going to more like meetings at my son's school, and I enjoy a couple groups, but I haven't been able to like see like something moving fast. So my goal right now, I really start creating content, videos, and I want to create my YouTube page because I don't have it. So technically my goal is to be able to create a YouTube page in Spanish where I'm going to present information about Central Florida.
Okay.
So I already have some videos done. I just need to like get into it. So that's what I'm telling you this because I know if I tell you, you're going to be asking me every week where I am in my videos. So
Yeah, absolutely. So
forcing me to do it.
let's talk
So-
about content, right? So I'm not a huge social media person, so I can't give you like, hey, I've done this and here's the expertise that I have.
Okay.
What I can tell you is I've done a lot of research and it's about frequency, right? So if you have some videos, good, you have a start. I think you want to make sure you're posting early and often, right? I think you have a unique target audience there where you can bring in potentially some foreign clients from Colombia, right? There's definitely some money that's moving from South America to
Yes,
here.
actually, I'm sorry to
It's
interrupt
okay.
you. Like when I was in Colombia, I visit my Keller Williams office in Bogota, Colombia, and I meet some of the realtors there because we had some situations with my family and everything that they're gonna need help. So I'm working on that as well. I'm trying to like be everywhere. But yes, that's the reason that my main focus is gonna be at YouTube page Spanish, because there is a lot of ones that are really English, but I haven't seen that many Spanish speaking. So that's my goal.
So just throwing out some ideas here, I would think about what are the challenges somebody has coming from one country to another, right? So if you think about from a financial standpoint, maybe it's the conversion rate. What is, I don't know what the money system is called there, but if it's a conversion, how much is your money worth here versus there? That could be a topic. It could be like, hey, let me partner with a local loan provider who specializes in foreign national loans. Or let me partner with an immigration attorney who can help people get citizenship here and become homeowners or whatever. I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud. Like you want to talk about the problems that those clients have and what is the solution to help them, right? So you're going to be a problem solver. And then obviously you want to talk about community driven stuff, like where, people tend to flock together, right? So where are people moving from South America? For example, in clients from Brazil are moving to Winter Garden, right? There's a huge Winter Garden population. So maybe if just if I was focusing on the Brazilian population, maybe I would start targeting or highlighting different businesses that Brazilian folks would go to, or different churches that they may be interested in, because there's a huge influx of the Brazilians in that market. So you just want to find what your niche is, right? Where people want to move to this country. They have to go through certain processes, immigration. They have to figure out their finances. Then they want to make sure that they find some kind of like closeness or groups that are similar to them, right? So churches, businesses, those kind of things. That's where my mind goes to what kind of content you would create. And then obviously you're talking about, hey, here's housing market statistics. What's going on in the marketplace? Who's moving to Lake Nona? What's happening in Lake Nona? What's happening in Dr. Phillips? All these different things. I think that would be good content that would help you. I love that part. Now that is passive lead generation, right? So that's, you put it out there and you're hoping that you're drawing the attention, but you want to make sure you're doing the proactive stuff as well. So if you still have your lead follow-ups, you still have your target audience of, past clients or whatever that you're targeting, your sphere of influence, as you're building that, you want to make sure you're doing your follow-ups and seeing how you can help and support them as well. So I love to hear that, but I want to make sure you're getting that aggressive, approach of dialing out, actively pursuing people, open houses, whatever the case may be. Maybe you go live on Facebook or Instagram or YouTube or whatever while you're doing an open house or something. I don't know, just throwing out some ideas.
Yeah, no, not a problem. And I do have another question is I do have a client now that she is interested in the vacation rentals. So she was trying to get some information to get some vacation rentals close to Disney. But what she wants is, of course, like we all want, like something of foreclosure, the deal. And I had never really worked with foreclosure homes, even though I get a email what is giving me a list of foreclosures. I don't know how that works because in my head foreclosures don't really pay realtors. It's I don't know how that works.
Not necessarily true. Typically the foreclosures pay 3%. So there's just not a lot of foreclosures in the marketplace. So let's talk about the foreclosures. So everyone wants a deal, right? And so people automatically think foreclosures are the way to go because back in 2008, we had tons of foreclosures. So from 08 to like 2016, 17, we had tons of foreclosures. Well, we don't have foreclosures anymore, right? Because the government stepped in, they fixed some of the issues with lending, and now we don't have a lot of people buying houses that are upside down, or we don't have, a lot of people that are not making their payments. So we don't have a huge chunk of foreclosures. I would tell you, if they're looking for a deal and they want to target something, it could be short sales. It could be just looking at properties that are high days on market. But like if you pull foreclosures in that vacation area, you're going to find onesie twosies, right? Just a couple. So going back to, go ahead.
And even when I look for foreclosures or short sales or like what is in the market, I had to make sure that they are in that community that are allowed to do the vacation, the short rental.
Yeah, it's going to be your Polk County, Lake County, right there on that 192 corridor. That's like that focus of the area. There's just not going to be a lot of foreclosures for you. So it's going to be few and far between. And honestly, in my opinion, you don't get good values with foreclosures because why? Banks are greedy, right? And so they price them high because they can sit on the inventory all day long. It doesn't cost them anything. They own it outright. They can just let it sit there. And if it sells, it sells. If it doesn't, they don't care. So I don't love foreclosures for people that are looking for a deal. I like short sales. I like high days on market. Making lots of offers till you find that one might be the strategy, but there's just not going to be enough meat on the bone there with foreclosures. Okay. So I want to make sure I respect everybody's time. So I don't want to keep on going, but I love the strategy. Like, hey, let's work on some content stuff. Let's work on the sphere, getting active in your child's school, making sure everybody knows you're a realtor. Maybe you do some sponsorships, lunch for teachers. There is a program. I'll forward you a flyer for VyStar Bank. They're called Everyday Heroes. And basically, anybody that's a teacher, anybody that is a firefighter, police officer, doctor, surgeon, medical assistant, nurses, they all qualify for this program. And it's basically no down payment and no PMI. Okay, so it's a great program.
Send it to me.
Yep, I'll forward it out to the group today. So that's a great program because you can basically buy a home with no down payment, right? And still have no PMI, which is an extra $200 a month sometimes in savings. And so if you're targeting school teachers, maybe you do a lunch and learn, right? Or if you're targeting somebody in the school system, just whatever. Typically teachers have spouses that want to buy homes, and so it could be a good target audience for you. Yeah, so I think it could be a good fit.
Yes, I love it. Please send it to me. I have a couple ideas with that.
Yep, you got it. I'll send it to you today.
Thank you.
You bet. All right. Good stuff. Moving on to Deanne. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I am wonderful. Thank you. How
Where
was your
would you
week?
like- Busy, as everybody else is, I'm sure.
Okay. That's good.
Uh,
Busy. Tell me more about it. So how many calls did you make? How many appointments did you have? You know the routine.
Gotcha. So I have 2 listings that I have paperwork signed on that I need to get onto the MLS. I have a 3rd listing that I'm seeing tomorrow to list. I had a showing with one client who is looking to putting in an offer on a home because the other one went under contract yesterday. Then I have another client that went under contract with a builder in Delphi Hills, a doctor. He's also looking at a temporary home investment to live in until his Delphi Hill home is finished. I had another showing with another client who's waiting on their pre-approval. They said they're waiting for their points to go up to get their pre-approval. I have another client that I just took on my own outside of the brokerage, who's looking for a mobile home with land with 1 acre if anybody has anything. I had 26 phone calls and 15 contacts for the week.
Okay. So obviously with a busy week, the phone calls start to suffer a little bit, right? So it's hard to stay proactively dialing when you're nurturing
Mhm.
contracts and listings. So that's to be expected. So for this week, if you have some downtime, just try to keep your calls up so you can make sure you have that good, consistent flow of business. But I love what you're doing. I think, you came out of the gate really hot. So I think it's probably because you took a bunch of leads, you got out and you were starting to show properties and everything like that. What has been something that, maybe is there like a secret sauce there or things that you're doing to stay so busy?
Answer the phone.
That's what a concept. Okay.
I mean, that's honestly what it is. I answer the phone no matter what time it is. My clients text me 11:30 at night. If I'm awake, I respond. I mean, I
Okay.
just constantly stay available. I try to keep it as, friendly as personal as possible with them. Constantly, I don't hound them. I don't stay in touch every single day. I usually just text and just a couple of days in and just be like, hey, just want to touch base. How are we doing? Have you found anything else? Are you happy with what we currently have listed? What's your schedule look like? Where can we balance a showing between your schedule and mine? And just constantly just stay available. If they send me something, respond within an hour if possible at the most.
Nice.
And then always giving advice. If they say, I don't like what my lender did, I said, here's another lender. If they say, I don't like the insurance company's response, here's another insurance company. I just constantly try to provide them with something that they need, whatever I can do to meet their needs in the process.
So what you're doing unknowingly is just being there for them and providing value, right? And that's part of the cap that we wear, right? We have to be the market expert. We have to know our listings. We have to know our neighborhoods and everything like that. But because the way our business is built, we cover a lot of territories, right? So we also have to add value as agents. And your value is let me be the Mrs. Fix It, right? Let me be the person that's like, hey, I have a guy for you. I have this for you. I have that for you. And so I'd love to hear that. And for all of you that don't have that part down yet, I mean, you're a new agent, right? And you're already figuring
Yes.
out the solution. I need to be the solution to their problem, right? So a
Mhm.
lot of times as
Mhm.
agents, we just think it's about the house and we just have to show the house, sell it and move on, right? No, there's the value for us is We help them through the process. We help them with their contract. We help navigate the roadblocks of buying, which are lenders, inspections, appraisals, all these different things. And it sounds like you've kind of figured that out pretty quickly. So kudos to you. For you, it's just about staying consistent and you have a good, healthy pipeline. So answer the phone. I love it. Simple. I should
Yeah,
get a shirt for every agent that just says, I answer the phone.
so this here is my list of what I have on Follow Up Boss for my clients. So these are my clients on the board, and every day I go and check them off, check their statuses, keep them up to date. This here is my doctor. He's looking at having 2 houses instead of just one. One is a temporary live-in. So this is his setup here that I'm working on this morning to get him figured out.
Very
We went
cool.
last week and picked out a lot. He and the builder are working everything out. He just basically wants me to be a project manager with their project manager. My murder. What did Dad say? I see murder on the screen. I'm so sorry. That caught me off
That's all right.
guard.
It said it looks
Um,
like a crime investigation board. But that's fine. Like it's your system, and everyone should take a note of we have to have
Well-
systems in place, right? When we're running a business, we want to make sure we have our systems, and this works for you. I used to use a whiteboard. I love it. I've gone to spreadsheets since then, but I love to see this. Very cool. This is awesome stuff. So hey, for you, you just got to keep doing what you're doing. I love it. So you just keep on rocking. Good luck on your contracts and the vacant land with the doctor. I know you've been working with him for a while. So kudos to you. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Keep
Thank
it up.
you.
All right.
Thanks.
Jeff, how are you, sir?
No, we're doing all right. Doing all right. I'm trying to still be on the listing side of the world. So I only got about 25 calls in last week, but I was getting out to a couple of new communities, including Davis Island.
Okay.
And plugging in there, and then getting in
Davis
front of
Island. That's a like higher like net worth properties,
Yeah.
right? Like luxury. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So they have a yacht club down there. So I've been plugging in there because I used to do sailing. So I'm getting in with them there.
Nice.
So yeah, that's just south of downtown Tampa. So that, and then another group, an offshoot from my church people. So I've got like 3 new contacts from that of people that are looking to list or sell soon.
Love
So
it.
I'm going to be.
So you're working your
practicing.
sphere.
I'm trying, man. I'm listening to
Oh,
you.
that's awesome.
But yeah, I'm going to be practicing my CMAs.
I love that.
If I can get those done, and then even do some for neighbors here where I'm living, because it was a note from one of our calls of doing some for your neighbors and just going and knocking on their door.
So let me give you a little something I tried. So last week I had a listing lead. He was an attorney. I got the lead from my roofer, right? My roofer door knocks neighborhoods.
Wow.
That's
okay.
all I do, right? So he's always in front of people. And I said, hey, listen, if you ever find somebody that's getting a roof because they know they're going to sell their house, connect me. I want to be able to help them. Let's work together. So I worked with him. He gave me this lead. And so the guy's not answering my call. So today I'm going to drop off like one of these packets that says the ultimate pre-listing home sale prep guide, right? So I'm going to drop this off today. I got this off of Etsy, and I'll share the download with you guys so you can just tap it into your Canva, and you just plug in your pictures and your brokerage information, and it's just extra value, right? So it's something to hand off, some kind of material in your neighborhood. So if you're targeting those high net worth areas, you're targeting listings, having like a pre-listing packet or just a market data of that area, and it look good, it's kind of bound and put together, that would be good for you as well. So I love to hear what you're doing here as far as working your sphere. What I like about what you're targeting is the high net worth individuals. That's a really good market to be in because it's virtually like recession proof, right? So we're weird time where we got the war going on, rates are high. Well, guess what? Rich people don't care about that. It doesn't impact them as much, right? They're not worried about gas prices and grocery prices. Their world is still spinning just the same. So I love to hear that. That's good stuff.
So was that Bound, the one you just had?
Yeah, at our brokerage, they have don't ask me how they did it. I had somebody help me at the brokerage, but they have a binding machine.
Okay.
I plan on getting them made at Staples, where it looks like a book, where it's just like seamed together,
Okay. I
and
got
it's
you.
only like, I don't know, $5 a packet or something like that.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, so that could be pretty cool for you to add on. But I mean, it's just thinking outside the box, right? Just trying to be different. Everyone can do a CMA. Everyone has a realtor name tag, but what's just different is you're working the audience that you know, right? Your church, your sphere, the yacht club. If you've sailed, oh my gosh, it's a great way to sail, because who sails? Doctors, attorneys, those kind of things. So that's good stuff. So for you, you've got to keep working that. So where do we find your business in the meantime to keep you active while you're working your sphere?
So I've still got leads from you guys to go through, and I'm gonna start picking up the buyer side again and start running again for showings. My other job is hopefully going to slow down a little bit again, so that's good. So I can start running around with the buyers and doing all of this. And
I would say
houses.
you would want to do, since you're really targeting the Davis Island area, maybe try to find some open house opportunities in Davis Island, or maybe just right around that area, that puts you in that, like, it's a super high traffic area. So you should definitely, pick up some foot traffic there. And if you're in the club, then obviously you're like, hey, you're at the sailing club. Oh, me too. So and so on. So
right,
that could be a good opportunity for you. And that would pick up now business, right? So I think that would be good for you to do some opens there.
Okay.
Yeah, cool. You keep it up, Jeff. You're doing great, man.
I'm trying. We're getting there.
Love it.
When I'm doing one a month, then I'll think I'm in a good flow. Until then,
Well, it takes some time to build, but gosh, you think about it, you just get that one doctor that buys. Like Deanne's working to buy a doctor. Now it's like, oh, let me help you with your investment opportunities. Now it's, I want to buy some more houses. I want to buy some rentals. I want to do this. I want to do that. Right. And then obviously doctors talk. So if you get into it, doctors, you could talk to them about that program I mentioned, the Everyday Heroes program, because it's basically like a doctor loan, right? Where it's just no PMI, no down payment. Anybody that's getting out of med school, it's great for them. Nurses, it's great for them. I think it could be a great avenue for you. So I'll send that flyer along with that packet so you guys can duplicate.
All right. Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Good stuff. John, how are you, sir?
Doing well, Angel. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Thank you. I saw you had a vacant land deal come in over the weekend or Friday.
That I went live last week with it. I've been pushing that marketing though pretty hard. It's $2.25 million.
Okay, so that was the new listing one. I saw this one in Webster. I think it was your guy.
Oh yeah,
I
double sided 2 deals on Friday. So
nice.
I got 3 over the weekend. Three
nice.
that are pending right now.
Okay.
So I have an appointment with a new buyer tomorrow, 11:30 here in the office. The side I double dealed on Friday, there was an in between person, the son-in-law, because they're in Puerto Rico, and I have an appointment with him and his wife to list their home now too, in Groveland.
Very nice. So what do you? Let me ask you some questions, because productivity is not something that I have to coach you on, right? You're already staying active and busy, so I think we can learn from what you're doing. So I love to hear you're doing buyer consults. So walk me through quickly, what does your buyer consult look like? What is your strategy there?
Well, I mean, I've been talking with this contact for about a couple months now, but I'm having her meet with my preferred lender at the same time, but she's also looking at new construction. So that's why I'm here in the office today, to see what direction I'm going to lead her towards. She hasn't been approved yet, but she says she's guaranteed that she'll be approved for more than $350,000. I said, well, let's see what the lender says. So I'm just here to coach her through the buying process. I have a 1-sheet page that shows step-by-step through the process. I don't really do a whole PowerPoint presentation. I just sit there and talk to them and ask them questions, get their motivation. And She reached out to me. This is the third referral because I used to give platelets out at One Blood here in Orlando, and I've gotten 3. This would be my 4th referral from them now. So it's just a matter of doing good jobs for my clients, and they just refer people to me.
I love that, right? And that's part of being the problem solver, right? So you solve their problems, you stay. I bet you probably stay in touch with those clients. So are you doing anything to stay in touch with those guys?
Well, the vacant land for $2.25 million.
Mm-hmm.
He was a for sale by owner I've been in touch with for 2 years. I never once asked for his business until he called me last week and asked me to list it.
Okay. So what does your
that's
touch points look like?
That's a perfect example of following up. 2 years.
So
24.
let's say, let's role play that out. So I'm going to be the seller. So you call him, and what does that conversation look like over the last years?
Hey, Dave, I was just driving by your house, or I just drove by your property. I saw you still have the for sale sign. I just thought of you. Just wanted to see how you're doing. And he'd call me back, and we would talk about his wife, his brother living in Honolulu who just passed away. His wife had a open heart surgery. So I just talked about life and what was going on. And then
Imagine
he told
that,
me that
right?
he told me, though, he was under contract on that vacant land with the Toll Brothers, but it's going to take possibly 2 years. And he goes, how about listing it for me so we can get it so quicker? And that's how it happened. It was just a conversation of me staying in touch with them over 2 years, literally.
I love that.
It was just, I can't say I didn't ask for a business. I said, if you ever need any help, I'm here. That's all.
And I think that's what it's about, right? It's just being that constant voice where it's like, hey, if they think about real estate and then you're doing your touch points and they go, oh yeah, you know what? I do want you to help me out, right? So
Yeah.
I'd love to hear follow-up is key, right? So hopefully you guys are all taking that into consideration. It's all about the follow-up,
Yeah.
right?
I
So
mean,
it doesn't matter. Like a lot of agents, I'm sorry, Sean, a lot
you're
of
right.
agents, we get that lead and then they go, oh, I'm buying in like October. Well, it's April. So we're like, all right, I'll call you in October. Well, it should be like, hey, okay, well, we're going to have touch points. I'm going to check in with you in a couple weeks, see how you're doing. Maybe I'll get you in touch with the lender. If you need anything else in the meantime, let me know, right? And you're doing your touch points and your follow-ups. And it takes a call every single month to stay top of mind. So kudos to you, man. That's awesome. I love to hear that.
Yeah, I did a lot of marketing. I used AI to do a rendering of what a home would look like on that 5 acres, and it went viral. I had people calling me from all over the United States on that property within 24 hours.
I love that.
Yeah, it was a pretty cool, Gemini did a really good job for me.
Did you get a contract yet?
No, it's like I had 8 days on the market. So right now.
Okay. I'm just curious because I had a listing over there, vacant land, and it was like offers like crazy.
It's probably going to go quickly, but I'm reaching out to like Element Homes, Synergy. All your smaller builders, custom home builders here, because I want them to get it before the Toll Brothers, because they're trying to buy that property, 5 acres next to me, and the other 5 acres. They want all 20 some acres to build a community.
Yeah.
And I'm coming in there and trying to swoop that up.
Good for you. Well, Sean, you're doing great, man. You just keep it up. I love to hear the buyer consult stuff, the follow up. For you, it's just keep doing what you're doing, buddy. Love it.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Good work.
Thank you.
All right. Let's see. Vincent, how are you?
Hello?
Yep, we got you.
Yeah, not too bad. I did a couple of showings this week with some new buyers. Old buyers I've been dealing with, I just got done putting an offer in on them on the property. So that's moving along. I have a listing right now that's been getting a couple of showings, the one in Ponciana. Ever since we had reduced the price, we've been getting a little more showings, so that's beginning to pick up a little bit. So right now, just head down on the phone, grinding, and see what pops up.
Okay. So you're hitting everything right now. So you're hitting the phone calls, you're hitting the leads, you're taking as much as you can. You've got some past clients. Don't forget to nurture those guys, because those will turn into deals as well. And make sure you're asking for business, right? Hey, hopefully you're doing good. You need anything? Oh, and maybe use an excuse to give a call like, hey, I'm looking for a new painter, new handy guy, whatever. I plan on doing that this week. I need a new handyman. So I plan on calling all my past clients and just saying, hey, how's everything at the house? Anything going on? Have you ever used a handyman? Like, if you ever had a good experience, I need a new one. my guy's so busy that I just need another contact for other clients, and just keeping the conversation going and see what I can come up with. So I want you to make sure you're staying in touch with your database and your past clients. Are you working Sphere, open houses, anything like that? Any extra layer of stuff that you're doing?
Well, we plan on doing some open house. I plan on doing an open house next week if I don't get the activity I want from the house that I have right now. That was my goal. Besides that, I've been, like you said earlier, trying to like call old past leads, trying to get some referrals from them. Actually, I have one of my old past leads that's thinking about listing his house right now because he's moving to South Carolina. So that might be another listing, hopefully down the pipeline real soon. So that's pretty much it right now, man. Just trying to work past leads and make these phone calls, just calls all day.
Okay. So I think also, yeah, let's go back. I want you to take a look at your Zillow leads over the last 90 days. You got about 36 in there, and you're probably working some, but you may just need to move people through the stages a little bit more. So I don't have any appointments for you, any Mets offers or anything like that on those 36. So try to dig through there and see if there's anybody that maybe you just forgot that needs to be pushed through the process. Like, hey, Met, showing homes, working on approvals, whatever the case may be.
That's
Um,
weird. 'Cause,
yeah,
I mean,
let's check.
I
Let's
have
check that out.
appointments right. I have appointments right now. Those are not showing.
Nope.
Mm.
Nope. So just take a deep dive in your Zillow stuff and just pull up, see our follow up boss. Just look in there and see if you can move some of those people through the stages. I want to make sure we keep you off the naughty list. So make sure you can try to move some people through the stages and dig up some gold there.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm trying to do that.
All right. Cool. Have a great week, sir.
Thank you.
All right. Let's say Joe Aponte.
Hey, good morning, everyone. How you doing?
Morning. How are you?
Doing good, man. Had a open house yesterday.
How
Really
was it?
productive. It was good. It was good. A lot better than I figured. And we got an offer, full price.
Looky
night.
there.
No concessions, no nothing. We did have an offer over the weekend, but it was $25,000 less with concessions, which we countered. And they went with another house. We counted really, really good too in their favor. We just went up to 5,000. But I guess the other house had a new roof, had a couple new items to it, so they went with that house. Did an open house today and or yesterday, and I already have an offer at full price.
Love that.
100% down. So got that rolling. Got
Your sellers probably love you right now.
Yeah, for
That's
sure.
awesome.
He's been wanting to work with me for a while. He's a doctor out of Brevard County. Dr. Friend, he stays at my house. He goes to Columbia all the time. So, I've done some work for him at his homes, painting, renovating type stuff too in the past, which he was happy with. But he finally got an opportunity to use me. And we've been on the market for 7-8 days and already have a full price offer. I will say though, as an advice to everybody, if you're taking on a listing right now, listings are sitting. I had one expire the other day. The people are still wanting to check it out. And thank you for that, Angel. Yesterday, by the way, they reached out to you. I didn't get that phone call. I did not get that missed call. It's crazy.
Yeah, the lady was kind of wacky. I don't know.
I didn't get that missed call, but I had a voicemail, which is weird. But anyways, got another appointment today at 1:00 with a Zillow person. Oh yeah, but I was saying about the listings. When you guys list a house, make sure you go over it with the seller. Ways to refresh a little bit if it's not in good condition. If a house is not in good condition, it's not going to sell right now. While inventory is down from last year by a little bit, I think it's like 17%, which is great for getting homes sold. We still have to list it in good condition, proper market conditions. So if that means painting, pressure washing, putting in some new fixtures. Fans are $80. Really nice fans are $80. You know what I mean? Flooring, some laminate can be really cheap. So, I would definitely set those expectations with them so you guys can get the house sold. Condition is everything. Location, condition, and pricing.
So your listing that you just got under contract, I would maybe think about sending out some flyers, just listed pending 8 days, put your face on it, flyer, phone number, all that, and maybe just do some either a drop off next time you go to the next house, 10 doors down that way, 10 doors that way across the street. Because neighbors talk, right? So you could be, it would be nice to get a couple extra listings. Hey, look what I've done, kind of thing. So brag about it, right?
Absolutely. No, definitely. That's a great idea. That's something that I've been looking into. I've been investing in myself this year. And flyers is definitely something that I've looked into. I got a company that does that. Let me go inside because the plane is loud. But yeah, definitely a good idea there. Have to. Got to geofarm a little bit to get some more listings.
Love that. Hey, Joe, I know you're on the grind, so you just keep it up, man. Like you're just building your pipeline and staying active. I love to hear that. So you're doing well.
Absolutely. Thank you. And keep chasing those Zillow leads. A lot of them are not going to convert, but when you find somebody that is hot, like Matt was saying the other day, he always hits that hot person every week. And that's what I did. I kept chasing this guy. He wasn't responding to me. And yesterday he said, "Hey, Joe, can we take a look at this house at 1 o'clock tomorrow?" He's been ghosting me all week. So keep chasing it.
Yep. I think it's so true. Like a lot of people get defeated after they don't get a phone call. Well, you guys need to remember you're in sales, right? And sales is all about rejection. The more no's you get, it's just you're a little bit closer to that yes, right? So don't be afraid to get a no. Chase them. It's a fun little game that I used to play when I was making phone calls, chasing no's, right? We would have competitions. How many no's did you get? We were sitting all in a group making phone calls. So the more rejection you get just means the more opportunities that you have. So don't be afraid to fail and, keep reaching out. So love that, Joe. Good stuff.
Thank you.
All right. Where's my other Joe? Is he still on here?
Do you mean me?
Yes, sir. I owe you a training, a showing training. So I apologize. I forgot to get back to you.
No worries. I would love to. Hold on. What am I doing here? I'm trying to get my camera on. Sorry.
Joe, while you're figuring out your camera, where are you located at exactly? Where do you live?
I live in Orlando. I live in near Waterford Chase. If you know where the Keller Williams Advantage 2 office is,
I do.
I'm about 2 miles from there.
All right. Why don't you schedule a house for Wednesday? Oh, let me see. By you, and I'll come to you. Let's see. Wednesday.
What house am I scheduling? What are you talking about?
Any house you want. Pick a vacant house in your area, and I'll come and do a showing training with you in your neighborhood or wherever you send me.
All right. This is a dumb question. How do I find a vacant house? The MLS?
Correct. Yeah. So go in the MLS, find a house that's near you. It's vacant. That way we're not disrupting sellers. And just pick a showing time that works. I'm open, anytime Wednesday morning, 10, 11. Actually, you know what? I'm supposed to do an appointment. Let's do, anytime between 12 and 1.
On Wednesday.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that works because Caitlin's at 10. So yeah, okay. I'll take a look and do that. That would be great. I appreciate it.
Okay. Awesome. So once you have that done, then anybody else that needs showing training, I'll throw in a group chat and you guys can tag along and we'll do that. So if you need a refresher or you just if you're brand new, you guys can stop by. So it'll be good. Good time.
Hey,
It'll be
hey
time well
Angel,
spent.
if you're going to a vacant house, do you need to contact the seller?
Usually it will be a go and show. So they'll just say like, hey, you get the combination code and go. Some might say, send me a courtesy text. So you could just say, hey, I'm showing the house, Wednesday at 12 o'clock. And that's it.
Okay.
All right.
Other than that, what I am not successful at is, and this may be basic to everybody else on here, but you get those unclaimed leads, they pop up. And by the time my finger goes, I'm telling you, it's seconds. It's gone.
Oh, it's like nanoseconds.
It's
Yes, I
so
know.
gone. But I got one legitimate lead. I guess maybe Dana assigned it to me. I don't know, but it's a nurture. And I have kept up with that and moved it through the stages. So, but the person's not ready to buy for another maybe 3 to 6 months. So I'll contact them again in about a month.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the only one. I only got one touring request, but I was in an open house, one of your open houses actually with Ingrid, and I missed that touring request because my phone was on the counter and I didn't see it. But other than that, I haven't gotten any Zillow leads at all.
Well, I don't know, Dana, if you want to take a look and give Joe on a call, and let him know what's going on with his Zillow.
Sure, I will.
Once you do get the alert, you got to be on
Let
it.
me
But
look now.
you guys can chat afterwards, and she can help you figure it out.
All right, that sounds good. I appreciate it.
All right, cool. Let's see. I think I have Sarah. She's still on here.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, Sarah. All right. So how was your week? I know you're buying a house right now, so you're probably consumed with that, I would assume, right?
Yeah, that's pretty much taken up all my time and energy between like packing and trying to get out of this place and then like trying to close on that. But I have been trying to keep up with the leads that I had, and I took a couple leads that I have appointments for this week. My biggest obstacle right now is that I have someone wanting to do a VA loan and they want a condo in the Lake Eola area. And they're kind of like blowing up my phone, asking me a ton of questions about the HOA and everything. And I didn't know that the VA loans, that was like the condo would be an issue with the VA loan.
Okay, so I'm gonna send you a link, Sarah, that you can check to see if the condo qualifies VA financing. You put the name of the condo, and it will tell you if it's eligible or not. So here's the thing about condos: no FHA, typically no VA, right? So anybody that's looking at a condo, they have to typically go conventional. And the reason is because of the way the HOA is governed, doesn't allow them to be eligible per FHA and VA guidelines, right? And so in some other cities, states, yes, there's tons of condos and they're eligible for VA financing. But just to save you a bunch of time for this call and for your own sake and sanity, there are no condos that are eligible for FHA or VA. So as people are spinning their wheels and you have somebody that's VA, listen, unfortunately, there's not very many condos that are eligible. If I were you, I'd look at a townhouse and keep it simple.
Okay.
Right. And then you're stopping them from sending you condos all the time. Oh, so, and you can give them the damn link if you want to. Here's the link. Go look for yourself. Right. And then it stops the call. So if they want to, spend their time wisely, they can look at a townhouse.
Okay, yeah, I don't think her budget's gonna be for a townhouse. She's looking at like 200,000.
You can find townhouses that much. You just have to go out a little bit further. They're not
she's
downtown, right?
No,
So
she's not willing to budge on location at all.
well, then she's not willing to buy, Sarah.
Yeah.
Right? Like we all want to help everybody. And that's why we got into real estate. We want to help people and we love working with clients. But at the same time, you have to protect your time because your time is worth something, right? So if somebody's like, hey, I want to buy a condo for 100,000, I'm using VA, well, it doesn't exist. So are you willing to go outside of your search parameters? No. Okay. Well, then unfortunately, I can't help you at this time. Right. But if you're willing to make that switch or you're willing to go conventional, then I'd be able to help you.
Okay.
It's not what you want to hear. I understand that, but we have to be able to be realistic with people, and I think they should appreciate that. That you're very transparent.
Yeah, I had no idea like when she had said something about it and I had no idea. So I asked Caitlin, and then that was the first time I'd ever heard of it. So it really like threw me off.
That's okay. This is part of learning, right? You have to learn stuff as things come up, and that's just part of the process. So now hey, like condos, you're automatically thinking, oh, you're FHA and you want a condo. Okay, those two don't go well together. So you want to check that link that I just sent you and see if it if it works for you or not.
Okay.
Cool. Well, I'm glad that you brought up that topic because I think that's a good learning lesson for people, right? That we need to know, hey, townhouse, condos, with the financing, there are certain condos that just don't qualify for traditional financing, whether it's FHA, VA, conventional. Sometimes they have to have, specialized loans for them. I won't go into that. It's another training topic, but condos can be tricky. So you want to tread lightly. So before you go out running to the races, you want to make sure you check with that lender and see if they can, approve or give a loan on those potential condo. So if, let's say, Sean is my buyer and he's approved for 450, he wants to look at a condo, I'm going to take the properties before I show him. I'm going to send them to the lender and say, hey, these properties, will they be eligible for financing? Right. That way we're
Yeah.
saving ourselves time.
I think that's like another issue I'm having is like the financing conversations. Like I tell them they need to get pre-approved to see what they're actually able to buy. And then I guess I'm not following up enough with that and being like as strong about like, you need to speak with the lender. Like I get them in touch and then Eric will call them and it'll go to voicemail. And then it just kind of like fizzles from there.
Okay. So you have to really make that time with the lender sound super important. Right. So if I have a lender, I'm sorry, let's say Jeff is my buyer and he's like, I don't need to get pre-approved until I find the right house. Okay, Jeff, listen, I totally understand that. I have buyers that say that all the time. And what they have found is when they're ready to buy, they don't have their pre-approval and then they miss out on the home. Or we go through this process, we try to get that condo under contract, we go get our financing, we find that we don't have enough of a pre-approval budget to jump into that property because there's lots of factors there, right? So there's what we call debt to income ratios. So if you're only allowed to borrow so much, and then we start to look at condos and they have an $800 HOA payment, that's going to impact how much you can afford. And that's why we really need to know up front exactly what you're eligible for. Or if they start to give you a hard time, no, I'm going to wait. Okay, listen, when they start to reach out about the next property, say, hey, I'd love to show you that property. That one in particular, the seller wants a copy of your pre-approval. And you blame it on the seller, right? So then you're not the bad guy that's like, oh, I'm not showing you property so you get your pre-approval. You can say, hey, it's not me, it's the seller. And so then every time they send you four, it's always, well, that one that they really want, that one in particular, they want a copy of your pre-approval. They're going to be like, oh, all right, fine, I'll go get pre-approved, right? Or they might say, well, then skip it. And you're going to say, hey, listen, you're going to keep coming into this obstacle every single time we have this because sellers want, and seller agents, they want property, they want people that are qualified in the home. They don't want looky-loos, right? Or call whatever you want. So you have to be adamant about that. And you really have to have, a strong presence and about being forthcoming about the pre-approval because it's important.
Okay. Yeah, I've heard you say that before, but I think like now it's really clicking because I'm going through it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's practice, right? But so when you do the handoff, what I want you to do is do the handoff a little bit differently. So you can say, hey, I'm going to connect you with my lender and I'm going to connect you via text message. And you whip out your phone, you pull up Eric's number, you type in their number, and you say, hey, Eric, here's so-and-so. They want to talk to you about getting pre-approved. And you go, hey, what time works best? Oh, call me at 3 o'clock. Okay, they want you to call at 3 o'clock. They're going to be here for you. And here's their cell phone number. Boom, now you've connected. We call that the golden handoff, right? Where you're holding off, you're handing off. More of trying to build some trust and credibility because if you just say, hey, they're going to call you, they're going to ignore the call.
Okay.
You really have to kind of like go that extra step and set up the appointment for them. Just like we would want to be referred, right? So if Sean's referring me to one of his $1 million clients, I'm going to go, hey, Sean, put me on a group text with him and introduce me and do the handoff. Right. So we want that like extra layer of communication because that's helpful because then we're going, hey, this guy's great or this gal's great. This lender's great. They're going to give you all this information. Here's their cell phone number. Gosh, you're going to have such a great experience with them. Right. You want to just sell it a little bit more and see if that helps kind of move the needle.
Okay.
You're just having like that first year. This is the stuff that all new agents go through. So this is nothing new. This is every single agent on our team has gone through this. I've gone through this in the past as well. So buyers like to hold on to, I'm going to get pre-approved. I don't want to send my proof of funds and all this other stuff. It's just part of it, right? They think they're keeping their secret safe or something. I don't know, but it's silly. So you just got to persevere. Deanne, do you have a question?
Actually, I wanted to bring up, we had a meeting, I believe it was last week, and Cilio, is that how you pronounce her name? The pretty blonde-headed girl with the accent from Ohio?
Oh,
Is
Cielo?
it Cielo? Is that how you say it?
Yes.
She made a statement in that meeting that said she calls it the purchasing power. And I had a client that I was having a really hard time getting into pre-approval. And I used her line and I said, you would want to know your purchasing power because you don't want to waste our time or the seller's time looking at a home that you can't purchase. You don't want to fall in love with something that you can't afford. And Eric has taught me that he can do the soft pull. So when I do the connection on for them, I always say Eric's going to do a soft pull, not a hard pull. And he's going to find out what your purchasing power is. He'll give you your pre-approval because 1 out of every 3 showings is going to require a pre-approval for the showing. And they didn't even, I mean, they've been balking me for like 2 months. When I got done saying that line, she was like, okay. And I was like, now it's okay. Like that was
You're like, damn,
the
that was
easiest
easy.
line I've ever said. And I pulled it from somebody else and I couldn't believe it worked. But she's right. It did work. I have to admit that did work. What her line was worked.
It's not that it was just like a line that worked. What it did was it gave you the power of the presentation. Like it gave you the demand of being like the important figure in this role, right? And so it gave you the authority to be like, hey, this is what you have to do. Here's what you have to do. Here's next. And they're just like, oh, okay, right? So Sarah, you might benefit from adding a little bit more of a presentation style. So like when you do your first tour with somebody or you're doing a buyer consult, you're going to go do your tour or you're going to do your buyer consult and you're going to go, hey, listen, has anybody ever taken the time to talk to you about buying a home? Or even if they've bought before, you can say, listen, I know you have bought before, but you've never bought with me. I like to educate a lot. Let me just spend a few minutes let's talk about the process. Then I'll say, if you like this home, then here's the next steps. You're going to want to make an offer. Well, if you don't have an offer, well, now that's why it's important to get you your pre-approval so that we know that you have enough buying power to buy this home and and you go into those talking points that Deanne had. And when you do that, you become more professional and more powerful in the moment. So now you're the authoritative voice of reason. So now you're navigating them as opposed to being the order taker, right? So what's happening is when you're new, you're more like I don't want to use the word a weaker agent. You're just thinking like, oh, let me just help this client. Let me do what they tell me that they want to do. And you have to take that back, right? So you have to put yourself more into the position of power when you're the actual agent. If not, they're going to run you ragged, right? So the buyer consultation will be that time that you can get into that authoritative role and go, here's the next step. And if you like this house, you're going to get your pre-approval. After that, you make an offer. We're going to write it as is contract. You guide them through that. If you like that, if it works, then we're going to do inspections, so on and so forth. So you have to get into the authoritative role some way, somehow. So you have to find your voice. Make sense?
Yeah. I think a lot is just like the confidence of knowing, like having prior experience has been kind of hard for me because I don't have any experience buying a house.
That's okay. But now you will, right? So you're going through this process. Now you know what it's like, what to expect. Like the septic issue that you had. Well, now as an agent, you're going to be so informative about that. Hey, listen, there was a time when I bought, we went into this process, the septic didn't work out. This is why we do the septic inspection. This is why we talk about septic up front, right? So you're learning this as you go, but you still have to be more confident and become that voice of reason in the sales process. If not, you're going to get trampled on forever and always. Even if you're new, you got to fake it till you make it, right? So they don't know that you're new. Okay. Nobody knows that you're new. You can leverage the team's experience. I always say we, we have so many sales. We are best of Zillow. My team and I sell hundreds of properties, thousands of properties, whatever the case may be. Nobody really knows. Okay. So that's just you and not having the confidence right now. Gotta fake it till you make it. Okay. All right. I went over a little bit. Sorry to hold you guys hostage here. Hopefully it's helpful. Sarah, thank you for sharing. You guys are on the right track. I'll stay on for a few minutes if anybody needs anything from me, but you guys are on track. It's selling season, right? So the interest rates kind of tumbled a little bit. People are starting to get over the war and all that kind of stuff. Gas prices came down, so people are buying, and you just have to find yours, right? So, like I showed you guys a stat last week, 2,000 people bought in Orange County last month, right? So, how many do you need just to be successful? 2, 3 of those per month, and you're doing well. So, there are tons of buyers out there. There's tons of sellers out there. Real estate is still doing real estate, so you have to find your fair share, unfair share. All right, guys, have a great day.
Bye. Have a good
Thank
day.
you.
Joe,
Have a
Take care.
good
Thank
day.
you.
I'm going to give you a call back. Okay, thanks. Bye.
Angel, quick question.
Sure.
I see that you send the invite fire files. I hear when I click on this link, view real-time notes.
I honestly though, I don't know how that works.
Yes.
Alicia signed us up for that, and I just see these emails that fly around.
Oh, okay, because it's taking me to a page that says Fire Files AI, but it says get started, request demo. I'm like, what? I don't know how to
Yeah,
get.
I don't know what that is. Is there something in particular you're looking for?
No, remember you told me that you're gonna send me the flyer about the interest rates for like nurses, teachers.
Yep, I'm
Eh,
gonna send to you right now.
Thank you.
Hold on one second. We'll stay on the phone because if not, my phone will ring and I'll get sidetracked.
Okay.
The lender's name is Don Lake, and
How are you gonna send it to me? So
email.
Okay, good. Because I'm looking at something else here. This.
Okay, I'm trying to find the original flyer.
Okay.
There it is. All right, so you can call him and he can educate you on everything.
Yeah, because then I can like request kind of like a meeting at my son's school. And I do have a fire station here that I was trying to think how I can get to these guys to know me. So this is perfect.
Yeah, that's a really good program. You're gonna find that it's the interest rates may be slightly higher, but they're borrowing free money basically at that point. So it's a good opportunity for somebody, and it's also just a good conversation starter. So if you send it out to your sphere or whatever, and you're putting it out there to teachers, they may have some interest, right? So they'll start raising their hand and asking questions, and it's just having those conversations are going to be helpful for you for sure.
Okay. Yes, I got it. Thank you so much, Angela. I really appreciate it. It's just I moved from Savannah, so technically I'm new here. I work from home, so I need to find my way. I'm trying to find ways to like get to meet people. Just getting like I'm very like intense. So when I see it's taking too long, I'm like, oh my God. So I need to like that's the reason I want to start with my YouTube page and everything. Just trying to get more areas that I can tackle in the meantime. Sorry.
Yeah, I think it's a matter of it takes time, but at the end of the day, real estate's still real estate, right? So you learn your market, you advertise, you just need to get in front of people. So no better opportunity than open houses. I love the fact that you're wanting to do some marketing and some social media type stuff. I think you have a niche there in the Spanish population.
Yeah.
With the Colombian clientele that are coming back and forth. I mean, it's huge, so but people tend to flock together, right? So, like the Brazilian example I gave you, it's a huge population, Winter Garden. You just have to find where this population of Colombians tend to go.
That is correct. It's just I'm trying to figure out how I can make this work for me, because my situation right now is like it's hard for me to meet people. So because I don't have, like I work from home, so I try when I start with you guys, and I got to the gym and I got to a couple groups, but it's not moving fast. So I'm just trying to figure out more ways to like bring more business. So
You got to
Okay.
take some leads, right, and get in front of people, because the more people you meet, the more it's just going to grow, right, chain by chain. So,
yeah,
I
I had getting the leads. I had been like showing houses and everything, and I love doing it, and I love when I connect with my clients. Actually, I was supposed to have a closing, but because I went to Colombia, I give it to Ricardo. So she's gonna close on May 4th. But they still I talk to them. It's a beautiful family. So when I connect with people, it's just amazing. So I'm gonna be there at the closing, because I wanna have like a little gift for them. I really like them, and just keep the connection, even though that Ricardo took it like, so they won't forget about me either.
Of course, yeah. No, I mean, I think being there for your clients is huge. Like Cielo put in the group chat the other day about doing gifts and all that. You want to ask for your reviews and of course just stay in touch. But like, what do people need after closing? Well, the first week after closing, they're usually busy moving in and painting and this and that. But then once they move out, it's like, or once they move in 30 days, that's when people forget about you, because life moves on after that. So that's when you really have to stay in touch more so.
Yeah, I brought some Colombian coffee for them and everything, and they are really in my heart, because it's the typical like American dream. They're from Nicaragua, and it's just this really nice like family.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the part that I love, when I am able to help. So they started with their own home now. It's just gonna be like just successful spot for them. So that makes me
I
happy.
love that. Yeah,
So-
well, I mean, start with that, right? Like, hey, who do you know that's looking to buy or sell? I'd love to help people like yourself that are just getting started, and then having that conversation. I think a lot of times as agents, we go, who do you know that wants to buy or sell, right? And then
Yeah.
we just pause and wait. But I think if we really like take a deep dive, like, hey, who do you know that's in the same similar situation as you, right? They didn't know where to start. They just got here. They need help.
Exactly.
I would really target immigration attorneys. I mean, they, especially right now in our times, they are seeing people left and right, right? So I would drop off a little flyer to them. Hey, here's how I can help people. Coming from South American countries, I can help them with, their, finding rentals until they're situated, or I can help them find a business that they can get one of their visas, or, I can help talk about foreign national financing. Like, that's a niche, right? So you got to find your niche, and instead of waiting to find that group, I think you can just attack it. And I would start immigration attorneys. Again, I would find your foreign national loans. I don't know any off the top of my head, but we all get those flyers in our emails.
Okay. Yeah, no.
And
I write down these.
so I would look at, are there any South American banks that have branches in Florida?
It's funny, not that there are banks from there, but there is banks from here that are working there.
There you go.
Yeah.
So I know Bank of America is in South America, I believe.
Yeah, TD Bank is in there. Not TD Bank, Citibank is there. So
So
yes.
I would walk into a bank and I would introduce myself. My name's Laura. I am my niche, right? You call it my niche. My niche, my focus are working with clients from South America. What I would love to do is, be able to be the voice of reason for them. And here's why. And you give your value proposition, but you got to have all your tools together. So you need your loans, you need your immigration attorneys, you need your people that you can refer them to help them.
Yes.
Make sense?
Yes, totally. Thank you so much, Angel.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you. Okay. I
You
know
bet.
you're a busy man, so I'm gonna let you go.
All right. You bet. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Good luck. Bye.
Thanks.
Hi,
Brittany, I missed you. I'm sorry. I didn't see you on the call.
you're good. I just wanted to check in and see, I'm on this 30-day action plan. I'm behind,
Mm-hmm.
so that stinks, but,
So tell me something good.
I have listings. I went on a listing appointment, this Saturday. They're not quite ready, but they seem they're reasonable. They have a motivation. They just kind of got to clean up the house. So that's good. I have one that, we're pretty much ready to go, but I had an inspector come out because we didn't know what kind of financing they might be able to do because the house, it was a floor duty call. The guy, ended up dying. And, I got him through probate. And we found out like the house kind of has a bunch of like handyman special type jobs done in it. So I don't know what kind of finance we're looking at, but I had an inspector come in there and the house is kind of problematic. They already spent $10,000 on a new AC, but now we find out it has like cloth wiring and it has galvanized plumbing. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Not fun.
So, I'm working on that and seeing, I'm hoping to try to get them something, but it's going to be hard. I'm just getting a lot of the leads that I've been having. A lot of them are like out of the state. And, I tried following up with one lady. It seemed like she just wanted me to show her houses. I was like, cause she kind of canceled on me like immediately. And I'm like, oh, something happened. You know, what's going on there? And she was like, oh, well, our agent had a open house or something. We just wanted to see houses. So I'm like, okay, just to be clear, do we have somebody we're working with or?
Right.
I never
And
got
you can't, and that's not a lead, right? So that's not
yeah,
not on you, right? So that's nothing you can do there.
she didn't answer me, so I don't even know what's going on with that. I had a showing last week. He needed to cancel, so hopefully this week I'll actually finally get to meet him. I have one today, possible cash buyer, so we'll see how that showing goes. And then I have a couple that are wanting like rental properties.
Okay.
So this guy, he said that he was going to email me of like, the cities he's looking at and all that fun stuff. And he wanted the rental income information on this particular property he was looking at. But
He wants to buy a rental?
well, he wants to like add houses to his portfolio. He lives in London
Okay.
and he wants to buy with however many houses, like 5 houses within the next however many years to add to his portfolio. This one was like a townhouse and he was asking like the rental income and numbers on it. And I asked the agent, I'm like, do you know anything about that? All it says is a short-term rental, but if they're not actually renting it out, there's nothing I can really give you. You know what I mean?
So let's talk about that. So if you have an investor, there's 2 avenues, long-term, short-term, that they can go into, right?
Yeah.
So if they're long-term investors, typically they want to know how much is it making per year and are they going to make money on it, right? That's called a cap rate. So how much money they're going to make versus how much they invested. And, typically you're looking for a cap rate of between 6 and 9%. So you would want to be able to speak that language. So just Google cap rate calculator for investors and you just plug in the numbers and it'll tell you pretty easily. That's number one. Short-term rentals, because you're in the Davenport market, you want to make sure you're well-versed in short-term rentals. So typically short-term rentals, you have to find a good property manager. Okay. And they can tell you what the projected income will be. So I will share a number with you. His name is Mike Chen. He's an agent, but he's a good property manager. Okay. And you can reach out to him. I can find his number. Mike Chen, property manager. It's called Fun Stay Florida.
Okay.
And I'm going to send you his contact information and you can I send him business because I've just never been able to find a good property manager. But he can give you projections. You can say, hey, Mike, I have a client. They're looking at, this community, what are the projections? How would it rent? Right. And he can tell you if it's going to be rent, if it's going to rent well or not.
Right.
Now, I can tell you, prop manager, I can tell you that there are communities that rent well and there are communities that don't rent well. So what's the budget?
I mean, this particular house or townhouse or whatever, I didn't know that information about the condos and townhouses either, which was insightful. But this one was 440,000.
Okay. And it's a townhouse?
Yeah.
That's their budget is what you're saying, right?
Well, that's what this particular one was. He was going to send me the rest of the information that, what he was looking for, but never did. I tried reaching out to the agent to see if they had any information like I can give him, but I haven't, they never responded. They're like, "Are you a realtor?" And I'm like, "Yes." And then I followed up this morning and I was like, "Do you have any information on any of that?" And I haven't got any.
So let's role play this out. So I'm going to be the agent, okay? And you're going to be the buyer. So if I have, and get a pen handy because I'm going to give you some names of complexes. So if you're a buyer and your budget is between 200 and 400,000, let's just say.
Okay.
Here's some of the places I'm going to recommend to you. I'm going to recommend Champions Gate.
Yeah.
I'm going to recommend Emerald Island. And I'm going to recommend, let's see. Where's my favorite at? Paradise Palms. Regal Palms. Reunion. Reunion's huge. And I'm gonna recommend Margaritaville. Right? These places rent really well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And because they have amenities, they have nice communities, they're well kept, all that good stuff. Okay. Now, if I have a client that's got a budget between 4 and 6, I'm going to recommend, let's see, Margaritaville, Solera, Celebration. I'm sorry, not Celebration. Stony Brook, which is Champions Gate. You've got another one called Windsor at Westside. That's a nice one. My favorite one is Windsor Hills. That's my favorite community. And the reason why, it's super close to 192. Okay.
Mm.
The closer you are, the rule of thumb is the closer you are to 192, the better off you're going to be, right? It's going to rent more. You're closer to fireworks. You're closer to the parks. Your drive time's less. There's tons of stores, tons of shops, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That is by far the most highly rented community in the area outside of Margaritaville.
Okay.
Okay. So the price points in there, townhomes go from 4 to 550, but they all have their individual pools. They have community pools. They have a water slide. So people love that community. Okay. So if somebody's like, "Hey, Brittany, what do you recommend? Like my budget's 400, and I'm good with a condo or a townhouse." I'm just going to say, "Hey, listen, the best community by far is Windsor Hills. It's close to everything. It's close to Margaritaville. It's close to the water park. It's close to 192. It's close to the stores." And I just take them there and they fall in love with it. It's the easiest sell ever.
Okay.
Okay. If their budget is higher, you land a good one. It's 6 to $1 million. We'd love that, right?
Yeah.
It would still be Solera, Windsor Hills, Margaritaville, and Campions Gate. So you see the common theme, right? It's the same ones people are flocking to. Now, if you have a cheap investor, they just want a $200,000 condo, okay. There's going to be some recommendations. It's still going to be Windsor Hills. The condos are still between 2 and 3. I'm only going to focus on that. And when you know your stuff and you're confident, you're like, listen, Windsor Hills, you can see like I'm confident in Windsor Hills because I know it rents well. I know where it's at. I know the amenities. So people are just like, oh shit, that sounds great. That's exactly what I want. Right. So then I don't have to spend a bunch of time showing them everything else. And if they want to see other stuff, I'll take them there, but nothing compares. Because as soon as you walk into the amenity center and it's like this huge water slide, there's kids running around and there's guests everywhere. People are sold. And then they look at the occupancy rate there and it's 90%. That means 90% of the time the home is rented out. Well, as an investor, I know that I'm only going to have to worry about 10% of the house being not filled throughout the year. Well, it's renting, 290 nights a year or 320 nights out of the 350 nights or whatever days. That speaks volumes, right? So you have to get, when you're dabbling in the short-term rental, you have to speak the language a little bit.
Yeah.
So you want to make sure you can talk about occupancy rate. You want to talk about, how much does the property manager charge? Do you know what their fees are? How do they get paid? So that's when we boost that skill a little bit, this stuff becomes easier. And then you're not going to lose those clients because they're like, oh, Brittany knows what she's talking about. So you got to spend a little time there. But like, are you familiar with the occupancy rate?
Right.
Are you?
No.
Okay. So occupancy rate means,
I know like the basics.
okay. So the occupancy rate means, how much of the home percentage wise is it rented?
Yeah.
The average is between 75 and 80%. Okay. So that means like most of the time, 3/4 of the year it's rented. That's what we want. Now, if we want to go above average, then we go into those nicer communities, Windsor Hills, Champion Gate. Those things are rented out 90% of the time. And the 10% of that time is just really like the day in between showings, right? Where you're getting it cleaned and everything. You have to have some time in between to get cleaned and all that. So if you're talking to somebody, you're trying to scout a property for them and you ask that property manager, what's the occupancy rate there? And if they don't know their numbers, well, they're not a good property manager, right? Property managers get paid, basically, they get paid 10% typically of the earnings. So if it makes, $300,000, they're getting paid $30,000. Okay. So they take 10% of the earnings. If it made $10,000 that month, they just made $1,000. So with the property managers, you'll start seeing people like, oh, I charge 17% and 20%. That's not who you want to recommend, right? Because your clients aren't going to make any money there. So the problem with the short-term rentals is it got so like saturated during COVID because everybody thought they were an investor. So people with mortgages bought short-term rentals. Well, if you pay a $2,000 mortgage and you're only making $4,000, and after you take out all the fees, you're really only probably making $500 a month, right? Just to give you some basic numbers. So what happens is it's not the best investment. So they need to know they're not going to strike it rich in short-term rentals if they have a mortgage. The money is made how? With time, right? The asset improves through equity. And then, the renters are paying down your mortgage, but you're not going to strike it rich. You're going to make, honestly, between $8,000 and $12,000 a year if you're lucky. So that's a lot of money that goes into a house just to make $8,000 a year. So they have to know, listen, at the end of the day, you're not going to make a bunch of money, but on the monthly basis or the yearly basis, you're going to make money in 3 years when I go to sell this property and it's worth $600 instead of $450. Right. So then they go, oh, okay, well there's value in that. Right. So now you sound like the local expert that's like, oh shit, she gets it. She is understanding. So then there's no surprises when they run numbers and then they go, well, this thing's not going to even make me any money. Well, you're not making tons of money. It's the value that, long term.
Right.
So, so that's one. Increase the knowledge. That way, your agents or your clients will stick a little bit more. And also, I think it's just a matter of, I was looking at your numbers. This is all-time Zillow numbers. Where'd you go? Oh, here it is. You had 104 connections, 52 appointment percentage. So that means half of those turn into appointments. That's great, right? Like, I think anything between 50 and 65 is like the target. That's great. There's probably a little bit of room there though. So we can probably get some of those appointments, the appointment rate up a little bit. Your met with rate is 36%. So more than half of your appointments are turning into Mets, which is good. The offer rates are low. So you're at 9%. Actually, it's not too bad. So 9% is pretty good. Like you're top 10 there. We just got to get you more. So we just got to squeeze out more out of that 104 and turn those into some actual, closings. Now, are you like one of those agents where if they don't buy like the first week or two after you get a lead, do you just not call it and move on to the next one? Or do you have a plan to go back and attack those?
No, I mean, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, I follow up. It's just a lot of those people, like I have quite a few that have issues with like income, and a lot of it's credit. So I have people in like credit repair, trying to work on that. So I mean, I have stuff on the line, but absolutely nothing like ready to go potentially right now. I'm hoping there's one that I just got in the other day. She said that they're already pre-approved. They're looking in the Polk County area over here and under 200,000. So, but they're looking for, it's a FHA loan. They aren't here. They live in like Tennessee, but they have family members. So I'm just trying to get with them and, see what we could find for them. So that could be something coming up. Let's see. There was another one that it seemed like it was promising. They seemed real ready to go. I showed them the house, and then I went over it because they're first time home buyers. I always do like a little consultation, and I'll give them, hey, this is how it works and all that. And they really just didn't seem very interested in, just kind of wanted to see houses. And I tried following up. I'm like, okay, well, if those ones don't work, do you want me to help set you up like on a search down the line to see, what we could find for you? But they have some like employee housing that they're waiting to see on, but they're not really responsive.
Okay.
Some of them will just be like, oh, I've had some that are just like clicking on real-time tours, and this lady lived in Georgia, and I'm like, you don't have any plans to like come over here? No. Okay.
So let's talk about that. So let's say you get one of those and you're like, no, I'm just looking, right? So, okay, I would take a deep dive in that, right? Like, tell me more, like, what's your timeline? Are you doing all that? Like, hey, tell me exactly what you're, okay.
Yeah, she said, no, I don't have any plans of anything. I just like the house. Like, literally, that was it. I'm like, okay, well, if you found one down here, man, not really an answer. So yeah, I had an investor guy that was just or he's a wholesaler.
Mm-hmm.
He was
Those are the worst.
Yeah, I was like, I don't think I could deal with that. I had a buyer. I kind of had to like let him go though, because he wasn't listening. He was a Zillow lead. When I first talked to him, he wasn't able to get pre-approved because he's from like out of the country. But he was seeing houses with some other guy. And I was like, okay, well, we gotta get you pre-approved. That's what makes most sense first. So I actually was able to get him pre-approved through an outside lender. And then I kind of had to like convince him to try to want to work with me, because I'm like, well, he felt bad for that guy showing him houses. I'm like, well, I mean, that's kind of a red flag to begin with, that we don't even know a budget, and he's just showing you all these houses. What if you fall in love with one, you can't buy it because you're not ready and you don't even know what to prove for? I'm the one that's actually getting the job done. So he finally like agreed to meet me. He didn't know what he was signing too, because I was worried, did you sign anything with this guy? He was only comfortable with doing showing agreements. And then we found a house, put an offer in on it. Well, I was trying to, and then I got the agent called back, said, hey, we have another offer that came in. And she kind of told me all the details about it, except for like a price. And I was like, hey, we got to fix ours. He went in PA or whatever, and then was like, oh, I want to offer 30 grand less now. I'm like, what? No, no. And I, advise them, I'm like, that's not, that's assessed taxes. It's not the same. It's not the value of the house. I did the comps. Oh, I just want a good deal. I just want a good deal. I'm like, that's what I do. I help negotiate these things for you, but we're not going to get this house with that. And I already wrote it up. He's like, just submit it and see what happens. I'm like, well, prepare yourself because I don't want to like insult the sellers either. So keep that in mind. But I already had it all written up, and I told the agent, I'm like, I'm sorry, but this is what it is. And of course, obviously that didn't work out. And then he wanted to see some more houses. And one of them of which was, hey, I don't even think I'm going to offer on it. I just want to see it. And I'm like, well, why would we do that if you're not going to like it? Oh, well, it's right next to the other one. So let's just go see it. And the other one was a townhouse. We just seen a townhouse that was exactly like that one, and the townhouses were too small for him, so he didn't like it. So he told me that he was seeing houses with this guy for months. So I'm like, you're not gonna run me around and not sign anything with me, and you're not listening to my advice. Kind of like demanding too. Like I think the culture, they don't really respect women as much.
Yeah, probably.
I kind of had to let that go.
So let me say, I think that you didn't forget how to do real estate. I think this year has been a tough year. I'm gonna acknowledge reality.
Yeah, it's
been a tough year, right? So sorry, I'm chomping in your ear. It's been a tough year, and we know the buyers that are in the marketplace now, their budgets are typically low because they're the ones that were waiting forever and they couldn't buy because they're always getting, outbid. So we have these buyers that have challenges, have issues. What's the way that we can fix it is go find better buyers, right? So how much time do you have during the week to do real estate? Because I know you work another job somewhere, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of been hard. This week has been a shit show. My car, I have to actually go soon to go try to, hopefully it works this time. I've been
But what's your schedule though, Brittany? Normally.
I mean, I'm trying to do stuff every day, for 9 to 5 at least. And, and
do you have a set schedule at work at your other job though?
Yeah, I work. That's why I wanted to try to do stuff, with these people in that Davenport area and whatnot. I go to Disney on Saturday and Sunday nights usually. So I try to work all around that. I've just been following up with these leads and stuff, but I'm like, I don't want to say wasting time on some of them, but then, obviously it's in the follow-up. I know that, but I'm following up and getting nowhere with some of these. That's why I wanted to figure out what are other ways that I can, get my own business. I've been trying to focus. I've been going to for sale by owners lately. I've seen a couple. I went to one last week. She, listened to my advice, but now I don't have any money because I had to lower the price so much. And I followed up with her today actually, because I seen she changed the listing description, which I told her, hey, highlight all these great things, I'm giving, help and advice and
value. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
So I would do this if I were you. So if I'm Brittany, here's what I would do. Here's my action plan I would do if I were you. We got to find you some sales, right?
Yes.
And we need to find you good quality buyers, right?
Yeah.
So I would try to do some open houses out there are tough though, because the gated communities and this and that.
Right. Yeah. Cause that's what I was doing those before last year. I did them a lot. I've only gotten one buyer. The last time I did one a couple weeks ago for Sam's listing, I got a lady that put fake information and a lady that only put an email that was looking for her sister. And I emailed her a couple times and it's not, no.
But where do you live though? Where are you based out of?
I live in Auburndale.
Okay. So let's focus on Auburndale. Auburndale has good price points. I would find a neighborhood that's between the price points of 500,000 and 700,000. And I would do open houses twice a week there. Not long, like 2-hour increments, right? Don't spend hours and hours there. And then you're going to get locked in with hopefully a good buyer because people that are shopping in those price points are typically good. They have less challenges and everything like that. So I would focus on that. I try to keep it on the main road as close as possible.
Right.
So I'm trying to be off of 92 or, not 570. It's a highway. I try to stay as close as possible to a busy road, right? Where you're getting
That's,
like,
I mean, that's usually what I try to target. 92 and Auburndale's not very, I wouldn't say you're finding houses on 92 within that price range in this area, unless I'm,
there's one like on Pearl Street. That's just a couple of blocks away on Ramsgate. There's houses around the lake there. Whatever. Just try to find something in that price point. I would do 2 days a week there. You're comfortable talking to listings. It sounds like that's a good, opportunity for you. So I would focus on expireds. And so we just are going to get a list of expireds. I think you guys get them from the brokerage daily, right?
we get them Mondays. So that was my thing of trying those next. But I mean, like I said, I do the for sale by owners just because I had another one that I went to. I can get in the doors, which is great. I know that they're a long-term thing. Like I said, the one lady, she had an open house, 2 open houses, and I was like, oh, how'd it go? And then she didn't answer. So I'm like, all right, well, I think that one's just a matter of time until she gives up. Usually that's what happens.
Right.
There was another guy, he didn't have any, motivation or anything, but I sent him a CMA and he's like, oh, do you realtors just pick houses that are lower or whatever? And I'm like, well, no, this is what it goes off the sales in the area and what's recently sold by you. And then we kind of adjust accordingly. Those houses were smaller. Yeah, I get it. But I know you have more value, and I'll follow up with him again and see what he thinks. But expireds, I know that Anthony Medina has those on lock with I think you need having a dialer would help, because when you're they don't answer the phone first off. Part, and just having their information of what actually happened in the sale. So I have to go look everything up and be quick. You know what I mean?
Well, no, it's not about the sale, right? It's about the experience typically with expireds, right? So it's not about like, oh, well, here's why I didn't sell. It's the same shit all the time. It's price, it's location, it's, the property, what is it called? The property condition, but it's the same across the board. It's always price. It's always marketing. And most of the time it's just because the price was overpriced. They took bad pictures. They didn't follow up. It's the same old. So you just need volume, not just dials, but like you just need volume. So if you dabble in the world of FSBOs and it's just like onesie twosies, that's not enough to stay sustainable and give you that extra monthly income so you can get out of working at Disney and stay into full-time, role. So we just need massive action. So as you're dialing, I would hit the lead pool like crazy. I would hit open houses. Like you just have to increase your output, and eventually you'll land on those good buyers. But right now you're just getting a small amount and trying to make it work. Well, it's just there's not enough there to work, right? So I've struggled with the same stuff this year where it's like, damn, I'm just working with crappy buyers, bad price points, shitty houses. And so for me, I need massive output to go find new people, right? So I'm dialing expires, I'm dialing, past clients. My business is a little bit different. I've been around for a long time, so I can dial my past clients and ask for referrals. And hopefully you can get to that point too, where that makes your business a lot easier because you get those warm leads. They know, like, and trust you. That's money, So you just need massive action, Brittany. We got to get you out of this funk.
Yeah, you're telling me, man, because I'm like, I feel like I'm complaining and stuff when I bring it up, but I'm like, this is what I got. You know what I mean? I'm like, there's nothing is workable. So I'm just trying to figure out other ways other than open houses too to like get business,
Yeah. I mean, nobody likes to sit in an empty house for sure. But I would just add it to where it's like just part of your business, like twice a week. You already know, like, hey, on whatever, this day and that day, I'm just doing open houses, 2 hours in and out, and you will find business that way, right? Because it's just, you're putting yourself in a position to win because you're there more frequently. and you're going to be in a high traffic area, you'll eventually land on those opportunities. And then if you're like, hey, I hate open houses, fine, don't do them. Let's focus on just massive outreach, expireds, the for sale by owners, not just onesie twosies, but you got to do it at a high level and really like go all in to get it, you know?
Right. I think it's just a lot of it is like in the follow up with this guy. I'm like, what do I say to this guy now? I sent him the CMA, his house. You know, I think he has more value what my CMA says, but he's obviously overpriced. And I kind of like told him like, hey, with three months on the market with no showings whatsoever and no offers, we're overpriced, you know? And that's kind of
Well, you also have to tell them to understand like you're selling your house on one avenue, right? When you list it, it goes on every single main site, and you're Best of Zillow, right? So I would leverage Best of Zillow. I would say, listen, here's what we can do for you. I would show them a showcase listing and go, here's how your property could be positioned. Imagine what we could do with the price if we can get it out to the masses.
Right. Because it's all paid off. This guy in particular, he has his dad that he's trying to help sell property. His dad has like 13 properties and he's getting old and he's trying to help sell them. And I'm like, oh, this can be really good. You know, I showed him the syndication. I have like a paper that's like a syndication site. And I'm like, this is where you're going to be, everywhere and anywhere you could be, you know. He just doesn't, you know, oh, well, I'll try it out and kind of see what happens, basically. And he doesn't have any real motivation and just whatever, it's there. And I'm like, well, you're paying taxes, you're paying HOA fees, you're paying electricity and water for it just to sit there.
Right. Or we can capture the market and get you to cash in, you know, on those, but they're not helping themselves. But it's not, they're not motivated, right? So you're going back to that motivation part where you don't have a motivated lead at the end of the day. So you still want to follow up.
Yeah.
But we just got to find those people that are like, man, I got to get out of this house, or man, I really need to get in the house the next 30, 60, 90 days. That's what we got to find you. So for you, it's just massive action. So I'm hitting expireds, I'm hitting for sale by owners, I'm in the lead bucket. I would take anything and everything and just get you in front of as many people as possible. Because it's not like you forgot how to do real estate, right? You had a good year last year, didn't you? What'd you sell last year?
I sold like 3.1 million and last year was my first year. So that's why I'm like, shit, what the hell?
It's just a different year. That's all. It's just, you know, that market. That was still a bad market and you did well. It's just the market changed a little bit for us, right? So Rocket gone away. So those were easy ones to sell because they were just teed up leads. The Zillow structure changed a little bit because the leads that we were getting, you know, that we're getting now in certain areas, they're just really low leads, right? They're just really low price points. So we just got to get you some better ones. But I think expireds for sale by owners. If you like the Disney market, I love the short-term rentals, but you got to be able to talk with them because you'll lose them really quick if you're not speaking the language. Right. So you just got to get yourself better prepared to work those. And so I put your leads back on for the Disney area and all the other ones that you were back in. We just got to get you some more. So just keep working as much as you can. But that hopefully it's helpful. Like that's where I would start though, is just massive action. I hit the lead pool. There's tons of stuff in the lead pool.
Yeah, I mean it's not like I'm not trying, it's just finding ones that are ready, able and willing, you know. I have people that are ready and willing, but they're not able, you know what I mean? It's one component or more is always missing. So
I'd come up with a good schedule for yourself. So I'd iron out, if you do open houses, put it on the calendar, get ahead of it. If you're going to hit expireds, do it daily, first thing in the morning. If you're for sale by owners, hit them early, hit them often, schedule it. Just have a good system in place to where you know you're getting your calls in, you know you're getting your follow-ups and your touch points. But you're going to get there, I have no doubt.
Okay. I think I have your phone number. I just want to make sure if I try these expires, as I said, it's hard getting them on the damn phone because there's 500 of me, you know what I mean, trying to call them. That's why I always try to hop with the FSBOs because at least they answer the damn phone. And I go and say, you know, I'm trying to bring you a buyer. And then they're like, oh, well, I liked your vibe. And they actually let me in under that preface. So, you know what I mean? Versus all the other. So like I have an upper hand with that. But I mean, I have a couple expired scripts. I just want to make sure, you know, I'm versed well enough to be, you know, considered like, oh, okay, I hear what you're saying, you know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for sale by owners, you have a free tool called Zillow, and you can go on there and check out every single one and hit those all day long if you wanted to.
Well, that's the
And
thing. The do not call list.
but they're for sale.
So if I'm like, hey, I'm trying to bring you a buyer rather than, hey, no, I'm trying to list your house, then it's okay. Cause like I've been getting conflicting answers on that, because if that was the case, I'd be calling everybody. But I look at the list that we have says do not call. And I'm like, okay, well, that would have been a good one, but it says don't call it. So I don't want to get fined.
No, I mean, if you think about it, they are for sale. And you're trying to bring value and try to find them a buyer. Well, in order to have a buyer, maybe you have to talk to them, right? So that's number one. Number two is, if you're comfortable in the for sale by owners, why not do open houses for them and say, hey, listen, I want to help you sell it. I'm not trying to be the listing agent. Let me just do for open houses for you. And you can create a post, social post, have Haley share it, and you know, you never know, you might be able to land yourself a buyer, and maybe you sell it. I'm just saying, like, that adds value, right? So that would be just another avenue where you're like, hey, I'm doing for sale by owner open houses, right? So that could be a pitch that you're having for them. I'm not trying to get your listing. I'm just going to help add value for you. You can say, my team and I, we do, make that shit up, doesn't matter. We do open houses for sale by owners. We're not trying to get your listing. We just want all the buyer representation in the area, because we have a huge buyer pool. We're best of Zillow. Let us get in front of that.
Question now, if that happened and then I don't have anybody come, and then they're like, well, what are you doing? You know, what good are you if you don't have anybody come? Then what do you say to that? Like, oh, well, I'm not on that MLS because that's where people are usually going to find my open house. So
it's the truth though. Listen, I struck out today. Nobody showed up, but this is part of the reason that you're listed and you're not getting traction, is because it's not getting enough eyeballs. If I can get it on the MLS, I can put some eyeballs on it and help you.
Right.
But you're just doing open house to help yourself, really, at the end of the day, and it helps them. So I can't imagine that they would say no to that.
Right.
You know, because
I've
nobody
offered,
wants to do it.
I mean, I just kind of slide it in there amongst a whole bunch of other things that I tell them and stuff. But I give them a little guide and stuff. I don't know if I could send it to you, look it over and let me know if it sounds good, looks good. And I don't know,
send it over.
Just that and the expired scripts.
I would do something like this.
Yeah.
Bounds, put a little booklet.
Yeah.
Drop it off.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
What I have. But I'll show it to you, make sure it sounds good. Because I kind of manipulated it a little bit, because it's not the one I originally had. It sounded like it's giving way too much information. I'm like, they're able to do it themselves, potentially.
Oh yeah, no, you want to give just enough to be dangerous, but not enough to sell the whole farm.
Yeah. So I'm going to send that. And if you want to give me some feedback on it and see if these FSBO scripts or expired scripts are pretty good to convert, and I guess try
Send it over. But I mean, listen, you just need massive action. We got to find you new people. That's it. So you've been dealing in these price points that are just really hard to navigate in. So we got to get you out of the price points. Once you get your good buyers, you're like, oh, this is a breath of fresh air, right? So
yeah, or they were far, because like that's why I had to go. I went with Dana a couple times to call Zillow, and I was getting stuff in Frostproof. Frostproof wasn't even in any of my zones. And then I was like, why do I not get anything in my area? And they were like, they couldn't tell me anything. So instead of getting Frostproof, it changed, and I started getting Groveland, which is the same thing, just the opposite way. I'm like, this isn't in my area. I don't know. You know, it's a decent price point, but that's far for me. So
yeah,
I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it.
I have you as Polk West, Polk East, Osceola County, Central Polk, and then you're like in 11 different zip codes.
Because they were like, your stuff around. I'm like, I tried doing everything I tried. You know what I mean? I tried all that. And like, that's why I said, I was like, why the hell am I even getting things in no area that I want? And I get nothing in my green area. And if I do get some in my green area, like a lot of them, I'll get a decent amount that come in, but then I answer the phone and nobody's there. I'm like, Jesus, or they're from out of the damn state. And I'm like, what is it? odds of this? Every
Yeah,
time.
that's weird.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong here, but
So
this-
in your, here's the challenge is in your, we had this conversation with Zillow the other day. It was, hey, listen, these agents are putting zip codes in their priority lists.
Mhm.
And then when we go to add them into the groups, it says you can't add these groups because they're already in these other zip codes.
right.
So like I just did that with Davenport. I put you in Davenport and it says one or more of the zip code you enter is already assigned to the agent. So you're already in some of those zip codes. Okay. So then when I go to add you to Highlands, let's just say, no, not Highlands, let's say Lake County, that would be Groveland, that would be Clearmont.
Yeah, I don't know. That's pretty far. I'm going to my car right now, so if it starts glitching out, it's me leaving my regular.
That's all right. So
Internet.
we're good. I mean, we have you in all of these leads, so you're in all the areas. It's just a matter of getting you as many opportunities as much as possible. Going through and seeing if we can convert any of those 104 in there would be good. And like Vincent, maybe it's just the status, so maybe we can move people through the status. That could be a possibility. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. As far as expireds go, I'm working on getting a list of expireds for Polk County. So I'm literally going in and I'm buying an extra area because I'm in Orlando. So I'm buying Polk County for the team.
Right.
So we'll get them uploaded to Follow Up Boss and I'll give you a copy of the list as well.
Okay, thanks.
Of course.
Thanks for talking to me.
I'm here. Let me know if you need anything, okay?
All right, thanks.
You bet.
Bye-bye.